What's up, YouTube? Luke here, bringing you yet another walk around video. This time I'm actually at the Polaris 2020 dealer show, which is pretty awesome. They've asked me to come and talk to some of the dealers about a couple models that I've ridden that no one else really has, no one else other than Polaris employees. So they asked me to come down and talk about these things. But one of the models I really wanted to talk to you guys about, because I've ridden it a bunch now, spent a lot of time on it, did a full test ride on it, is this guy right here, the 2020 Indy XCR. And I'm just going to start this walk around off right in the beginning by telling you guys that this thing is awesome. There's just no other word for it. I mean, XCRs have always been really amazing sleds to ride. I've always loved XCRs to the max. They offer such a great mix of race-ready durability and performance with real-world usability and comfort, which is a pretty difficult mix, I think, to make for a manufacturer. And certainly other companies and other manufacturers have tried to do it and gotten better at it over the years, but Polaris with their new generation of XCRs has absolutely nailed it on pretty much every model, and this one is no different. So real quick, just wanted to go around the sled and kind of give you guys a little update on what's new, what's different. Obviously the biggest part of this sled that's new from last year's XCR is what you're looking at right now. This is no longer a Pro XC chassis, though they do still have a Pro XC chassis switchback. This is a Pro CC skid frame in an XCR package. And I mean, the Pro CC skid frame is just an absolute dream to ride. It really is. And if anything on the market has ever even tried to give Skidoo's R-Motion a run for its money, this is the one that's done it. And they just didn't give Skidoo a run for their money. They are giving Skidoo fits with this skid frame because it is that good. This is a 129. It's actually not a 129, it's a 128. It's got a 2.52 pitch track, which requires the skid frame to be just about an inch shorter overall, or the track to be an inch shorter overall than the regular Indy XCs are. But what that does is that gives you more pitches on the ground, or more, lugs on the ground, which is what the racers prefer. And that's pretty cool that they actually took that race design and incorporated it into this sled. And the reason they do that is because this isn't just you know, a trail sled with some race features. This is the actual sled that's being raced. This one here that you're looking at is an 800, but of course this is available as an 850. And I do believe it's available as a 600 as well. So you get your options there. You can only get it as a snow check though, so if you want one, you better jump on it. I would say, of all of the features of this sled that people are going to want to know about the most, and that's going to impress people the most, and that impresses me the most, that makes the most difference, I guess, would be these velocity shocks right here. And these are Walker velocity needle shocks all the way around. The velocity shock, you can tell a velocity shock because the reservoir is mounted partway down the shock body, which is very unique. They are called position sensing shock, and to say that they work would be an absolute understatement. These things are absolutely incredible. Sorry about that, guys. Just had a little quick interruption there. Real quick, we were talking about these velocity shocks, and I want to get back to talking about them. So these are what Polaris calls a position sensing shock, and the way that they sense position, or the way that the position, I guess, that they're sensing is adjusted by where this reservoir is mounted on the shock body. That affects sort of that position sensitive range within the shock travel. But they're also needle shocks, and anybody who knows how needle shocks work, that needle causes a rapid ramp up of compression at the very end of the stroke to resist bottoming. That is so effective. It's always been effective on Walker needle shocks, and it's even more effective on these. But these things really work. I mean, they can be set up to ride so smooth that you would swear you were on just an average everyday touring sled, and then they can be set up to ride so aggressively that you can literally go race, you know, cross-country races at the pro level with this same shock setup. So, you know, you rarely find a shock this versatile, and these are them. The only thing I will say, and Polaris is working on this, is that the adjusters can be very confusing. There's high and low speed compression only. There's no rebound, though high and low speed compression affects the rebound. So, you know, you are in effect adjusting rebound at the same time. but knowing which one is which, and I'm not even going to make the comment, I'm not even going to make a claim about which one is which because I get it wrong all the time. Polaris is working on a better system for identifying that and showing you which direction is stiff and which direction is softer. So that's one thing they are working on to improve, and it will make a big difference. So let's just move around the sled a little more, and we'll talk about some of the other features that this thing has that your average XC doesn't. So of course right here you're seeing this brake scoop, which is something all new generation XCRs have had. This is a very effective way to cool the brakes and keep the brakes from fading. Something that cross-country racers are going to be more, it's going to affect them positively a lot more than your average trail rider, but it is something that's cool to have, and if you do ride super hard, you can fade your brakes if you try hard enough. So this is a great feature. There's also a heavy-duty brake rotor under there that goes along with excellent Hayes brakes. These things are just so fantastic. Polaris has always had brakes that just are so pleasing to use, easy to use. I love the sound they make while you're slowing down. They have great feel, great modulation. I've never had anything bad to say about Polaris brakes, and these are the best that they've ever made. Move down the back of the sled here. You got some tunnel bracing. You know, obviously that's something that a racer is going to appreciate a lot more than a trail rider, but if you are super aggressive and like to hit jumps, that's going to benefit you too. But that's another piece that came directly off the race course. This season, even though this is essentially, you know, a new model, this is what the pro class racers in cross country have been racing this season. So this sled isn't just something that Polaris came up with just now. This has been under development for a year with real racers. And all the changes that you see are changes that they have made themselves to make this sled survive racing conditions and perform better. So, you know that they're there for a reason. You got rail braces down here. The front arm of the suspension is made out of a thicker chromoly tubing for more strength. You got 4-wheel rear axle is another upgrade, as well as the aluminum coupler block back here. That's significantly more durable. It's an interesting one. Stiffer torsion springs as well. You have an Axis race seat, comes with this package. Obviously the handguards, the fixed riser. What else? There are quite a few things. The overstructure of this sled, where most XCs are carbon fiber, this one has an aluminum overstructure for extra durability. And I think that's an interesting move. The carbon fiber is definitely lighter and it's cooler to be able to say you have it. The average trail rider doesn't need any more strength than the carbon fiber can provide. But for a racer, ultimate strength at the sacrifice of just a little bit of weight is definitely worth it. Coming from a racer, I will attest to that. So that aluminum overstructure is an interesting thing for Polaris to do. I think it's a very smart move for them for this vehicle. And the other thing that you don't see that's under the hood is a solid jack shaft. And that's again for supreme durability, just so that this sled can survive whatever you can throw at it in a racing environment. Sled's available in a couple colors. The ones that I've tested so far were blue, or were sort of white, red and blue coloration. It looks really cool, but I'm not gonna lie, this all black coloration, kind of stealth black, is by far the sexiest coloration I've seen so far. And if I was gonna buy one, this would be the color I'd buy. No question at all. After spending quite a bit of time, and I've spent now multiple days on this sled, just this sled alone, as well as switching back and forth between other sleds, including regular Indy XCs of different shapes and sizes. This is my favorite XC chassis Indy. This is the best one they've ever made. For a rider like me, who likes to push it a little bit harder, likes to go fast as possible around the corners, and hit whatever jump comes up, hit whatever ditch approach comes up, this sled is the one that was built just for me. And I'm probably not making use of all of the features that this thing has, all of the upgrades and durability features this sled comes with, but I'm making use of enough of them that I feel if it was me buying it, it would be worth the extra money. If you're just an average trail rider, I mean, the reality is you're not going to be able to make use of any of the features. However, I would not fault any trail rider for wanting to own an XCR strictly because it is this cool and it is this XCR. I'd want to own it too, even if I wasn't going to use the features, so don't feel bad about that. One thing I didn't mention is the velocity shocks in the skid frame. Again, position sensitive needle shocks there, but the velocity package. Ultimate ride quality in the rear end, no question. The whole package is just stellar suspension wise. This sled really lives and dies by its suspension, and it doesn't get much better than that. So anyway, guys, this is the 2020 Polaris XCR, Indy XCR. Again, this is an 800, but the ones I've tested so far have all been 850s, and the 850 is just absolutely stellar in this package. Incredible traction, world-class, top-of-the-line, unbeatable suspension quality, suspension adjustability. Ergonomically, this is an XC Indy. I mean, there's nothing better ergonomically in the industry right now, in my opinion. We put thousands of miles on all of our 850 XCs this season, and not one of them has given us a second's worth of trouble. So we have great faith in this whole product, this whole chassis, engine package, and it's just one sexy beast. I mean, really, if you're looking for the ultimate top of the line, coolest, most maxed out, most impressive, you know, get all the girls or all the guys excited about you whenever you show up at the trail pit stop, this is the sled you need to own. Hope you guys appreciated this and liked this this walk around video. We're going to be bringing you a lot more of these throughout the winter, throughout the off season rather. We're going to try and bring you, one a week or one every couple weeks of a new sled, different sleds, and we love doing this for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy watching it, and we'll catch you next time.